How's it going, YouTube? Figured I'd share a little story with you. May sound funny, and may sound a little insane. I don't know how you take it, but we'll see how it goes. You know how some people talk about there's a fine line between genius and insanity? Well, I'm going to talk about that line. May sound funny, but I used to hit myself in the head. Still do. And some of you think that may sound insane. It sounds insane to me, so yeah, I know how you feel. But let me explain myself. See, when I was younger, I got picked on a lot. Because I was smaller, dirt poor, in ED classes. And if people don't know what ED classes are, that's a special education for people that are slow in the head. I know some of you don't think I sound like that when I talk. But I have dyslexia. It's a learning disability where the pronunciations, not like the symbols are mixed up. The symbols are there, but the pronunciations don't play out right in my head. Anyways, I digress. Okay, if you walked in on somebody and they had a boxing mitt and they were hitting themselves in the head, you would think that's completely nuts and insane. Especially if they're doing it not because they don't have ADD. What was the other one? I'm not autistic. I do not have Tourette's. I don't have OCD. I actually did it because this was the logical thing I thought to do. Now, why would anyone logically hit themselves in the head? Well, I want to be a fighter. And there's actually a thing in most fights, fighters know, is called bone hardening. And by sending shock waves, goes through the skin into the bone, causes microfractures. Freaking those microfractures actually heal up, making the bone denser. So by me popping myself in the head, it was me trying to prevent someone being able to cause a optical fracture right here, or both sides actually, in my skeletal structure. I know that sounds funny, but there's actually plenty of science on it. They try to test calcium intake to bone density. It didn't play out the way they thought. They versed third world versus first world. The third world got far less calcium. Third world had softer bone density. Why? Because you need that shock impact. It's also one of the reasons a doctor, and I've came across other cases of this, a doctor tell you take it easy on the joints. Say if you have arthritis in the knees or something, you shouldn't have hard pounding. That's old science. Because if you do take it easy on the joints, the bones get softer, you slip and fall, and you have a hip fracture. And it's not so much calcium, it's the stuff in between the calcium that holds the calcium together, like magnesium and a few other elements. And vitamins play an effect as well. So when it comes to bone hardening, there's many forms of it. But if your doctor tells you, because you got arthritis in your knees, to take it easy and not do the elliptical machine or biking, don't listen to them. You're going to get a weak skeletal structure because you need that shock impact. I don't want any of my fans getting weak bones because they got bad information from somebody that hadn't studied more into the data. Because they actually did test on the calcium intake, and of course your body needs calcium, but most of the time, like, they don't need as much calcium as most people would think. They think they're taking calcium to make their bones stronger. You need to go for a run, and you got to be careful too. Say for the toed shoes with next to no cushion, they are hard on the bone structure. They're good for you, but if you're used to running, I don't know how many, pardon me, then had a few, I don't know how many miles, your bone structure will still start to crack. And they had people reporting, trying to sue them for broken bones and stuff. Because when it comes to sneakers versus the toe shoes, there's a big difference between the shock impact your skeletal structure feels. I used to be a wall runner, or do what someone called parkour. I would run really high up a wall, then jump and pow. And I can tell you firsthand, the shoes make a difference. How much time do I got left? Alright. And the shoes make a difference because I did it mostly in sneakers. I tried it in dress shoes. Ooh, them shoes do not have shock absorbance. And I actually ended up breaking my leg. Oddly, I can go into a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, I ended up breaking my leg because I jumped off a pier trying to impress women. Do stupid stuff when you're young. Anyways, shouldn't even went to the doctor. I should have just got a wrap. All I had was a spiral fracture. And the doctor told me that he didn't even think they was going to be able to complete the surgery because my bone density was so high. Well, it's because I was always doing this, and I played it off like, yeah, I'm a ball. Like you like that, don't? In my head, I was just screaming, like, how dumb do you have to be? Because I feel it in the bone that it just sent cracks up through it. But those cracks had to repair. And I just do it again, and then they repaired. And I got to where I was really getting up there. But if it wasn't for me doing that, when I did do the stupid thing that actually caused a spiral fracture, that probably wouldn't have been a spiral fracture. That bone probably would have just popped out of the muscle. But, you know, when I'm talking about the fine line between genius and insanity, both of those kind of sound like the same. Like, why would you even hit yourself in the head? Like, because I don't want a busted eye socket. And that actually happens when you're fighters. And that's why some fighters do bone hardening techniques. I've seen bodybuilders and arm wrestlers. They bulk up and they get muscular and they can lift more and they keep going for more and more. But they don't ever start to think about how the bone is actually handling the stress of all that tension. And I've seen arm wrestlers just, you know, their own muscles can snap their own bones. Or trying to go for a squat. And it's too much for the thigh bones to even handle because they haven't worked on making the bones denser. I progress with my, yeah, whatever. Just wondering if the doctor tells you that take it easy on the joints. There's glucosamine conjoined that will help rebuild the joints. But don't take it easy on the bone structure. You should at some point if you feel pain. Like you really can cause too much fractures that actually causes a bigger fracture. That's what some people call the shin splints. But yeah, I just don't want any of y'all to get hurt. Some of the ways I've been hurt before. And try and study it to yourself and not just take someone's opinion, because I can get into what happened to my leg. They put 14 screws and a steel plate in it, and when I showed back up for an x-ray, well, that was a waste of time. I even broke all 14 screws, so with the doctor's a little shocked at it as well, but my bones were so much denser than what the metal was, and yes, you can look it up, bones actually 5 times stronger per weight-wise anyways than steel. Y'all take it easy, YouTube. I'll make another video eventually.